Hey folks, welcome to the channel. I'm here at the end of the day, just doing a quick update on my trading. If you haven't subscribed, please do so if you want to join me on my journey. I'm looking to be as transparent as possible with my trading, and you can see me along the way, seeing all the mistakes that I make and how I look to become profitable using using prop firms. In terms of my trading today, so I had a few issues with Apex accounts, which I'll get onto soon. But just starting with the easier one. So in the morning, we'd been running up fairly strongly, and with my Bullinox accounts, I took a trade. So essentially, we broke out here, formed a fair value gap, and once we rejected the fair value gap, I took a long entry here with a stop at the low of this bullish candle, and it took a long time to play out. It was around 2 hours, maybe something like that. It took a while to play out, but eventually it did hit my target. I did note, I didn't see it at the beginning, but you could see towards the end of that consolidation that we'd essentially been contracting into this pivot. You can see it on my live stream. We'd been contracting to this pivot, forming higher lows into this pivot, and then we eventually broke out. It was around this point that I actually saw it and saw how clearly it was setting up. So I was fairly certain that we were going to break out at this point. We came within a few ticks of my take profit, and I was a bit worried there, but we did eventually hit that take profit and go higher since then as well. So that was a fairly good trade for my 5-minute strategy in the London session. Where I made around $180 per 3 accounts. And then onto the Apex accounts, which is where I ran into a problem. And as you can see from the title, I'm dropping one of the strategies, and I'll just explain why here. Apex takes a bit of time to log on, so bear with me. Okay, so in the New York session, I run 2 separate strategies essentially, pretty much at the same time. So I've got an opening range breakout trade where I use the range between 930 and 945 and look for breakouts of those levels. So here we got a long setup, a long setup that was triggered right here, and you can see that it didn't work out in the end. Eventually hit my stop loss, and that wasn't a problem. So I lost $450 on this trade because because of the win rate, I allow $90 stop loss and a $30 take profit. So it's a fairly high risk reward strategy, but the win rate does cover it. And so this trade wasn't a problem. I don't mind losing $450. That's not a problem for me. Like I said, the strategies should be profitable over the long term, and any losses should be covered eventually. But what this trade did do is, so when I saw price coming up like this, I was looking for longs. There was just nothing that set up at this point with my other accounts, these 2 accounts. So I was looking for a long, but there was nothing that really set up. But then when we came up and I got the entry with the opening range breakouts accounts, got that entry, that was fine. But here, when we rejected down like this, I really liked the look of that rejection. It was at the top of the standard deviation for VWAP, and it was looking like a multiple top, essentially a triple top at that level. So I really wanted to sell here, but you can't actually take long and short positions with NQ and MQ on different accounts with the same company, the same prop firm. It's considered hedging. So I wasn't able to take that sell that I wanted to take with these accounts. And so I was essentially forced to only look for longs. So that's what I did. So the next trade, the next candle showed a fairly good rejection from the moving averages. We had formed a new high here, so I took the long. But I really shouldn't have even been looking for it, because I should have been, like, in my head, I should have been in a sell setup because of this rejection. That's the trade that I wanted to take, and I was essentially forced to have a long bias because of my opening range breakout trade, which forced me to only look for longs at that point because I couldn't do anything otherwise. Um, so perhaps I could have ignored it, but I think trading is difficult in and of itself. So I don't really want to be focusing on too many things, and things like conflicting signals from separate strategies is not something I want to be thinking about. I'm not even sure if it will occur very often, but it did occur today and fairly quickly in my journey trading funded accounts, and I don't really want it to happen again. So because of that, I decided to drop one of the strategies, and the strategy that I decided to drop was the opening range breakout strategy. There's nothing wrong with the strategy. I think it's fine. I think it's a profitable one. Actually, I think they're fairly equal in terms of profitability. But the reason that I chose the breakout trade to drop is just the risk to reward. So I risk 90 ticks to make 30, and with the other one I risk 60 to make 40 ticks. So just in terms of being more conservative as a trader and making better decisions, I think it's better for me to choose a strategy with the lower risk. So yeah, going forward, I'm going to drop that strategy. I'll keep an eye on it for the future. If I'm trading other prop firms, I could use that strategy. Perhaps at the same time, I don't know. I don't know if there's rules against it with other companies. So, like, if you're doing opposite trades with separate companies, I don't know what the rules are. It's sim account, so it's not real. So there shouldn't be any rules, but I'll have to have a look into that. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. It looks like a good strategy. It's just not something that I want to work on right now. I want to focus on the discretionary strategy. So yeah, I think that's all that I really need to say about that. Sorry about the fairly long video. Um, yeah, I think that's all. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, give me a like if you can on your way out. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching. Bye.